Today I wanted to look at how to take the inverse trig derivatives. I know many times students in A, B, or B, C will be given a list of all of these derivatives and basically be told to memorize them. But these are actually not so bad to do on our own. So in case you were to forget on the AP exam, I want you to know a method that you could use to solve these anyway. Okay, so let's start with sine. If we were to be taking the derivative of the inverse of sine of x, or arcsine, I could write this as arcsine of x equals y. Okay, if we wanted to take this derivative ourselves, we could first start by taking the sine of both sides to get rid of the sine inverse. So sine inverse of x equals y. Equals sine of y. The sine and the sine inverse will cancel, and we'll be left with x equals sine of y. Now we can take the derivative of everything with respect to x, which is important here. If we take the derivative of x, that's just 1. The derivative of sine is cosine. And because this is y with respect to x, we have to use implicit differentiation here, combined with the chain rule, and multiply this by dy dx. So we have 1 equals cosine y dy dx. Okay, so how do we get this in terms of x? We have a derivative, dy dx. We don't want 1 divided by cosine of y. We want something with x in it. So we actually here would go back to the original idea of trigonometry, which is to use a right triangle. Okay. And we decided that x was equal to sine of y. So x was equal to the sine of some angle. I could pick this angle or this angle. Let's just say that this is y. This angle is y. And x is equal to the sine of that angle. So the opposite side over the hypotenuse would be equal to x. So the opposite side here, when we're doing this, our strategy is going to be to pick either 1 or x for the opposite and hypotenuse. So here we could try 1 and make the hypotenuse x. And then we'd say sine of y is the opposite side 1 divided by x. And that does not satisfy the equation we started with. That would be 1 over x. So we come back, try again. We say x is the opposite side and 1 is the hypotenuse. And then when we take the sine of this angle, it would in fact be equal to x over 1. Great, great. And so now we can think about what is the cosine of this angle. We don't have this side figured out yet, so we'll have to use the Pythagorean theorem. A squared plus x squared equals 1 squared. A squared equals 1 minus x squared. A is equal to the square root of 1 minus x squared. So we have this side figured out, and we can take the cosine of this angle y. So we go back to our equation. We have 1 equals cosine of y is a over 1, or the square root of 1 minus x squared, all times dy dx. We divide both sides by the square root of 1 minus x squared. We have 1 over 1 minus x squared is equal to dy dx. Okay, So this was the first in a six-part series of taking inverse trig derivatives. I hope this will help you if you're taking the AP exam and you forget what the derivative of sine inverse or arcsine is. Yeah.